Hello everyone. When I can't get out and make videos walking around beautiful Siem Reap, Cambodia, I thought I'd make a separate playlist for my channel, something that hopefully will keep you entertained and not necessarily about Cambodia, but about the world in general. As you know, my last book I wrote is called A Big Book of Weird Top 10 Lists. And this playlist is going to follow in that theme. And I'm going to give you a list of 5 things in every video that I find interesting, fascinating, or even terrifying. Now, of course, I'm going to continue to make my regular videos, just like I always have. But I thought during this time of lockdown, this might keep you entertained and give you some information about things you might not know. So with that being said, let's get started. And my first list is going to be the 5 scariest places on earth you do not want to visit. So let's get into it. Number 5, Nagoya, Japan. Now, Nagoya is simply a tiny Japanese village and shouldn't really be on the map. It shouldn't really be on anybody's radar, but it is for one specific reason. That's because Nagoya is home to a life-size doll population that outnumbers the human population by nearly 10 to 1. That's right, this city only has about 27 human beings and almost 10 times as many life-size dolls. Now, while some people might find dolls interesting and quirky, if you're like me and you don't like dolls, you will find this place absolutely terrifying. The majority of the residents are the work of a local artist named Tsukimi Ayano, and she began making these doll replicas of her neighbors after they died or moved away, as one does, of course. But these creepy twins can be seen in various positions all across the town. Fishermen sitting on the riverbank, students filling entire classrooms, elderly couples resting on benches outside of buildings. And as I said before, there are only 27 breathing humans, but now the town boasts around 350 dolls. Creepy, if you ask me. Number 4, Bellitz-Heilstatten Hospital in Germany. And I may have butchered that name. But if this picture of this old German hospital looks a bit disturbing and creepy, that's because it is. You see, between 1898 and 1930, this complex, which, by the way, is a short 50-minute drive south of Berlin, served as a tuberculosis sanatorium. Not only that, but it also housed victims of machine gun fire and mustard gas during World War I, including a young soldier who had been wounded in the leg that you might know as Adolf Hitler. The hospital later went on to be a major treatment center for Nazi soldiers during World War II, and it was also used as a Soviet military hospital from 1945 until the fall of the Berlin Wall. So very recent history in retrospect. Even today, a few of the wards in the hospital are still used as neurological rehabilitation centers. Although, as you can see, the majority of the hospital is abandoned, left to Mother Nature to decay, and of course, vandals, as in every abandoned building. The results look like something straight out of an American Horror Story. And it's certainly not an enjoyable day trip should you want to venture out. Number 3, Capuchin Catacombs in Palermo, Italy. Now, there are tons of catacombs in the world, from Salzburg to Paris and everywhere in between. But I don't think any of them can match the creepy factor as this one, called the Capuchin Catacombs. The space was created way back in the late 16th century when the Capuchin monastery next door became overrun with the dead. People were dying in numbers. The cemetery was full. No room at the inn, if you will. And it was originally made simply for religious men. But once word got out that the catacombs had a natural mummification process occurring, it soon became a status symbol for people with money, local citizens, to earn a final resting spot, dressed in their best clothing, of course, because if you're going to get dressed up, why not do it for your funeral? And as a result, the underground tombs now contain around 8,000 bodies, and they're divided into separate corridors. They have a corridor just for religious figures, one for professional men, one for children, and even one for virgins, which I understand is the emptiest one for some reason. The corpses are all displayed almost like a museum exhibit, dressed to the nines and arranged in a lifelike fashion. Certainly not a place for the squeamish or those who have a fear of death. Number 2, Snake Island in Brazil. Let's say you want to go on a vacation to Sao Paulo in Brazil. Well, just about 90 miles off that coast is Snake Island, and it is one of the most dangerous islands in the entire world. And this is not hyperbole. This is not over-exaggeration. It earned that title due to its insanely high density of golden lancehead vipers, one of the deadliest snakes in the world. Some studies report an average of 1 to 5 of these vipers per square meter. That is a lot of snakes. See, apparently, about 11,000 years ago, sea levels rose, and it separated this island from mainland Brazil, and the snakes had to adapt. They became hyper-evolved, and that means they became hyper-terrifying. Since they didn't have any prey on the ground, they learned to hunt in the treetops and strike at birds from the air. Unfortunately, they had no way of tracking the birds that they had attacked, and so their venom adapted and became 5 times stronger than that of their mainland counterparts, capable of killing their prey instantly. Their venom is so strong that even getting some on your skin will cause your flesh to melt. Of course, the Brazilian government bans the public from ever setting foot on the island. And to be honest, that's not only a good call, but I have no idea why anyone would. That just looks absolutely frightening. Number 1, Centralia, Pennsylvania, in the United States. From the late 1800s to about the 1960s, Centralia was a quaint but very busy town in Pennsylvania. And that's because it was very prosperous because of their coal mines, which were big at the time. However, when a mine mysteriously caught fire in 1962, the flames began to spread underground via the interconnecting tunnels. And here's the weird thing. Although the citizens were aware of the situation, they weren't really bothered to leave. Imagine the entire underground area of your city is basically on fire. And the citizens just said, we're going to stay. That is, until two isolated incidents some years later. First, a gas station owner reported abnormally high gasoline temperatures in his underground tanks in 1979. And we all know the trouble that can cause. And then a young boy nearly fell into a 150-foot deep sinkhole in his backyard in 1981. Of course, since those two incidents, the town has been abandoned en masse, and the population has decreased. In fact, as of 2014, which is the date of the most recent census, only 7 residents remain. Of course, Centralia looks like it has no residents, looks like a complete ghost town. But if you ever find yourself in the deserted city, you'll find torn down buildings, crumbled sidewalks, and the cracked graffiti-filled Route 61. And just in case you forgot why the town is deserted, you can occasionally see smoke billowing out from the subterranean fires underneath the city, which, by the way, scientists estimate will continue to burn for at least another 250 years. So you mix the toxicity of the smoke and the gases, along with the chance of the earth opening up, swallowing you whole, or a fire volcano appearing under your feet at any given moment, and you can tell why this place is truly one of the most terrifying places to visit on Earth. And there you have it. 5 creepy places on Earth you probably don't want to visit. I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little excursion. Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. Let me know if there are any topics you want me to go over in this series. Like I said, this does not take over my regular uploads. I like doing those, but when I can't get out and I have some extra time, I'm going to drop it right here in this playlist for you. And if you want to support my work and support free education in Cambodia, there are 2 links you see on the screen. Go to either of them or click the links below, and your support is appreciated greatly, I can assure you. Plus, you'll have access to exclusive videos, books, updates, and photos, and more goodies to come. All right, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.